Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and if you do not know, if you go to the Twitter or DPA forum on Telegram, there is actually Discord as well, DPA Discord. There is the newsroom. The DPA newsroom is a consolidation of headlines. It's AI driven. It's not done by me. So I went through the past 1 or 2 days of the headlines, and to see anything worthy to talk about. And one of this is actually from China. Unfortunately, I didn't exactly wanted to pick this, but this is actually pretty significant. This is so I picked a news media that is a bit I think maybe more trustworthy. So this is the Business Times from Singapore. So you can see on the link in the above, businesstimes.com.sg. So the latest numbers has came out from China, and it's from the Chinese government, and the Chinese manufacturing has contracted again. It got smaller. That means the manufacturing is getting smaller and smaller for 8 months straight, and this comes also at the same time where the construction and real estate industry also contracted. So let's go through this article briefly. So China factory activity slumped for the longest stretch on record. So China has never been this depressed economically for a long time. There has been like a guaranteed sure win. If you get by any investment funds or whatnot, they will always often recommend you to throw the money in China. And so because it's such a sure win, so now this year has been tragic, regarding the Chinese factory thing, and I attribute largely this to the already shaky economic situation in China itself, because they have already multiple bubbles has burst, like including the real estate, and then with Donald Trump coming in, it just exacerbated the problem. So Donald Trump basically, for those that do not know, started the trade war, threatened the whole world with different level of tariff. The strategic aim, in my opinion, is to drive businesses out from China to other countries, to basically balance the trade, or to avoid or to stop Chinese businesses from avoiding tariffs. And of course to attract businesses back into United States. And honestly, it seems to be working out as what the Trump administration seems to be doing. So the factory activities improved, but is still in contraction. So the official manufacturing purchasing manager index is 49.2. So 50 marks is nothing, no change. Is no improvement, no decrease. But 49.2 is below 50, which means it has contracted. So economists estimates is at 49.4. So the numbers are all very close. So non-manufacturing index in construction and services reached 49.5, which is also contraction. Although in October it was a 50.1. So again, this is the first contraction of the index in nearly 3 years. So service and construction have not went down for quite some time already, 3 years. So now it's driven by the weakness in real estate and the residential services sector. So it's also going smaller. So so they mentioned about the production has the smallest gain since the start of the year, and exports unexpectedly contracted as global demand failed to offset the slumps in shipments to United States. And this statement is something I have already said months ago, when I was reporting the trade war. A lot of people assume that it is possible to don't sell to the United States, and then the trade war doesn't going to affect China. China have a big market and whatnot. The reality is China has already tapped the whole world. The whole freaking world is buying Chinese goods, because there is no other options. All the companies, like most of them, has set up shop in China. The whole freaking world is already buying from China. There is no new markets to move the things that you're selling to United States to. They are already selling to all of Europe. They are already selling to all of Africa, all of Asia, like all of India. is already all fully tapped. Basically, this is not actually that much market left that the Chinese can tap. So when you have a decrease in orders from the United States, it's going to affect China in a very substantial way. There is just no other markets to go for because they are the factory of the world, which is a compliment. They have basically conquered the world through manufacturing in that sense. And they have wiped out manufacturing across most of the world. Most of the world's manufacturing, especially the lower end, has all been wiped out by China. So only the super high tech ones, or others that is the small ones that is done by the local business to sell local. Some still survive. They want to do their own thing, mostly in the third world country, but largely all the major ones is all in China. There is just no place else to sell. So this is something that I've mentioned before, and we are now seeing the effect. Which I did say that you're going to see the effects in months to come. And that was in March or April when I said that. So the tension has eased temporarily. Between there's like some kind of truce. The reality of this truce, everything is being negotiated and actually quite secret. There is this deal between Trump and Xi Jinping. They try to work things out in a way that they don't end up in a war, or they don't end up in like a hard disconnect. Although I feel like people around Trump, or like generally I see the Trump administration, the people around Trump is trying to push for a hard cut to China, but they can't do that yet. And the thing is, both sides is trying to play this dragging game. China is trying to drag it out for a very different purpose from the United States aim to drag it out. United States need to drag it out because they just don't have the replacement for everything yet. They still need to buy from China for quite a number of things. Probably half of all the things, a lot of the manufacturing things, batteries, parts, stuff, it's still needed to buy from China. And they're trying to move this manufacturing or develop this manufacturing elsewhere, including rare earth. China have a totally different reason for dragging it out, because they cannot have a hard cut as well, and then they still need to export to the United States as they try to grow the internal demands, maybe try to work the geopolitics, the foreign diplomacies, or to build up this military, to train up the military. They already have the military, they have a lot of the equipment, but I think the training is lacking, especially in retaking Taiwan, which is looking very likely at this moment because of the China's activities around Taiwan and its training. But a lot of the training, from what I have read on other analysts has written, because I didn't analyze their exercises, but I read what other people have analyzed. It seems to suggest that the Chinese rehearsals on the invasion of Taiwan seems to be full of problems, and as a result, they are not ready to just go for Taiwan yet. And they also, which as a result, they need time to sort out these operational problems, because they are not used to it. They have never done a major over the ocean kind of operation, to do amphibious landing. They have never done such military operations before. So this is a challenge for them, and also to bringing in more high-tech weapons, robotics, drones. These also need time, and if they can have all these robotics and drones ready, they would have a substantial military superiority over the Western military, which is currently underdeveloped in robotics, in drones, counter drones capabilities. Even cope cages technology, they don't even have the cope cages that is tested. So China needs time to flesh this out, and of course, preparing, stashing more gold, preparing for de-dollarization, and of course building up nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. All this needs time, and they cannot have the total breakdown of relationship right now. So both sides is dragging it out for this major showdown. So So the thing is, this is of course a very pessimistic view, but I would suggest everyone to be a bit more pessimistic about this, because all I see is both sides is just dragging it out for this final showdown, and whether the showdown will happen depends on whether both sides is able to survive politically, to able to sustain the country without the country going into massive collapse, be it social or economical or political. Because I say China's economy is very shaky. United States economy is not shaky per se, not as bad as China's, but no, the debt is insane. So debt may cause a different kind of problem. I know some of you guys will disagree, but the thing is, United States right now indeed have gotten tremendous, insane amount of foreign direct investment. China is the opposite. There's literally no foreign direct investment into China, from what I've understood. So, like, no one want to invest in China right now. Everybody have withdrawn and reinvest their money elsewhere, particularly in Vietnam and Southeast Asia, or maybe India, and particularly in United States. So the whole global economic order is now changing and moving, and China is on the losing end. Like, as much as it seems like they have this immense trade balance. That is no. I have already addressed that before. So then, of course, the diplomatic spat with Japan, I don't think that is super important, but it added to trade uncertainty. So and of course, China wanted to continue to punish Japan economically. Let's see what he can do. I'm not so sure. Japan, of course, if you have not been following before, I think Japan this is not the first time Japan get bullied by China in through this kind of pressure tactics. So Japan is pretty used to it, and Japan generally is pretty like they have a lot of their own manufacturing stuff and stuff. So they should be fine, I guess. So weak and on top of that, domestically they have very weak demands. A lot of people keep saying, China big market. So the thing is, their domestic demand is just low. It's just small. The income level is very low. Growth in retail sales slowed for the 5th straight month, the longest such streak since the COVID pandemic. And so right now, the Chinese policymakers are not in a rush to act, because they feel like their annual growth target of around 5% is still within reach. So they are not intending to do more measures to stimulate the economy, which they have already done once. 1 trillion yuan, which is only 183 billion Singapore dollars, which is probably 150 billion US dollars, I guess, around there, to expand investment and repayment arrears owed to companies. So the next 5 years, Beijing's plan is to focus on tech and manufacturing as top priorities. So that is as expected. Definitely they're going to focus on tech, because tech is where the frontiers is, and that's going to help with their military technologies. Manufacturing is the only bright spot. As I mentioned long time ago when I talked about the trade war, about the China's things, I already said a manufacturing export is the only thing that is keeping China going. So they definitely have to focus on that. And we can basically see this is it. And technology ties very closely with the manufacturing part of things, because if you can continue to build high-tech stuff and high-tech consumer goods, other countries may want it. Like the BYD is the BYD car is the world number one selling car right now, I believe. So that is a bright spot for China, but a lot of the other things is actually struggling. So they are definitely not in a as good place as you may imagine, but they are not in a catastrophic place yet as well. They are not like they're not collapsing. China can never just collapse suddenly just collapse. They are a very big country, and they are very close economy, their currency is close, so they have a lot of power to control and to manipulate the economy and the money and everything. So they can print money, and the effect cannot be felt that easily. So I think they will be fine for now, but it is bad, and all these numbers you have to remember that there is increased workforce entering into the workforce. There's people graduating and they cannot find jobs. This is the reason, because the economy is not growing at all. There is no new jobs for these young folks, and the youth unemployment is one of the big problems that China is right now facing. But anyway, so this just interesting news coming out. In case you don't know, in case you're still thinking that China is winning the trade war, they are not winning the trade war. But United States also have not won the trade war. That doesn't mean that United States won. United States also haven't won, because China have not surrendered. So, but both sides is dragging it out, which is why the feeling that I get is that if both sides is dragging it out, then there will be a showdown, and so we shall see how that goes. Hopefully, it doesn't end up in a hot war, and so that's about it. So thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe, and subscribe. Yeah. And if you don't like the news, too bad. You can chit chat with AI. AI, you argue with AI and see what AI tell you. You don't have to listen to me. Everything I say is in the open. It's all public information. Thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next update.